to another episode of Rebuilding Portsmouth. Now, before we get into today's episode, there's a couple of things I wanted to just quickly go over, and that is, someone did actually ask me about this the other day, about Daniel Daniels. I don't know if you guys remember him. He was a guy that played for us very briefly, and they wanted to see where he got to. And this isn't going to be a thing, but so they did just remind me that I was just kind of a little bit curious to see where he'd got to. And basically, he plays for Southend United now. He's 25 years old, at Southend United. I believe they're in League One. Are they in League One? League One, yes. So after he left us, of course, he went to Aston Villa for £115,000. Then he was loaned out a few times and eventually left Aston Villa on a free and went to Wigan. But he's just been purchased by Southend from Wigan for £275,000. So he's clearly moving up a little bit. He's got quite a few assists to his name this season, and he's actually put in some quite stellar performances for them. So not bad a player, but he's certainly won't be missed by us, let's put it that way. So, anyway, let's get back into what we actually want to talk about, and that is, oh, goodness me. Obviously, today is the day of the League Cup final, so I'm personally absolutely bricking it, because we've lost our last two cup finals, and, okay, fair enough, Chelsea, tough game. Leicester, we should be winning that, and that was a gutting one. But second consecutive League Cup final, though, that's good to see, that's progress, and the fact that we beat Man United in the semis to get here is showing massive progress for us. So we do face Stoke today, and I just have a horrible feeling that we're going to lose this one as well. But, that's for later on. We've got to go through what's happened this month, and believe me, there's been a lot going on this month. It has been a mental month of just head and hands kind of stuff. So we're going to start things off with the first game of the month, which was at home against Manchester City, and we've put in some weird performances lately. I mean, this one, I have to say though, was a quality display of football. Basically, I set up with our usual home tactic, basically, to try and just compete with City a little bit. And it basically lasted all of 2 minutes when this ball thrown into the box, and eventually it's going to get knocked down, and Alban Collin directs it in for 1-0 City after 1 minute with his second goal of the season. So I was a little bit worried then, but we did show some strength, and I wasn't too fussed, as later on in the game we did start to look a little bit better. Sorry, not later on again. We actually started, that was their only shot at the early stages, basically, but then we did actually start to pick it up from this point, and looked like we were matching them, at least in most areas of the pitch, and that was nice that was the case, at least at home. We got a little bit lucky with the away win because of the red card, but we still played well enough to turn it around after going behind there. But this was important. We needed to dig deep because we've got home games against all the big sides now, Chelsea, United and City, in the second half of the season. And we got through the first half and took 6 points from them. So, hey, you never know. Millington here knocks it through, and Santos smashes it into the back of the net for another goal, his 8th of the season. And considering how much of time he's missed this year, he really is starting to look just that man we all know and love. Then, with 20 minutes on the clock, we really had started to look a lot better at this point, and we have a habit of turning games around against these big sides, and that's exactly what we did here with Millington sneaking in there to score already his 31st goal of the season at this stage in the year. I think he's got to be heading towards the big number, really, hasn't he? He's got to beat it this year. But unfortunately, you know what's happened when you go 2-1 up against these sides, they just seem to just always have that way of coming back. Robson's strike here, poor goalkeeping positioning from Belongo, and it was 2-2 before half-time. It's a shame. I was going to try and really sit back at half-time, but we couldn't do that. So in the second half, we have to continue doing what we did, and we got a man sent off. Ivancic, I think, was sent off, which was a pain. Second yellow card, unfortunately. And then with 8 minutes to go, City ground us down, men over here, and Teixeira is able to score and make it 3-2. At this point, I just threw it on overload and said, you know what, fuck it, let's just see what we can get from this game. And what we got was a bit of luck. I mean, I suppose a bit of luck. It's an amazing finish. I mean, he has been my hero on so many occasions. Basically, after it with the ball through, Marcio with the pace, but what about this for a strike? Bang! 3-3 there. So, I mean, we've had a few 3-3s this year, but what a goal that was. 10th of the year for Marcio. Pleased as, lovely stuff. So we managed to avoid defeat, and that's 4 points we've taken off of City. And so out of our 4 matches that we've so far played against the big sides above us, we've taken 7 points, and we've still got 2 home games to come. So you never know. We've done a pretty decent job of it so far. Now, in our next game, it was a little bit more on the disappointing factor. We had the same result, but for much more disappointing reason. Now, you might look at that and think, well, Liverpool had lots of shots there. Yeah, they did. But they also had a lot of shots from long range, from what I remember in this game anyway, where we can find out, in fact. Only 5 long shots, actually, but still more than us. But we created a lot of good chances in this game and should have been doing better. To create 8 considerably decent chances and let them score all theirs and just not us. We just couldn't do it. I mean, Van Os here put us in front on 15 minutes, and that was great. Happy times. His 10th goal of the season. A lot of players are crossing over into double figures at the moment now, which is good. And I was happy, but before I could really consider making a defensive change, Liverpool were level. And perhaps it's a poor ball here from Borges. We are missing players. Obviously, Ivancic was suspended for this one. You know, in other bad news, Marcelo picked up a 6-week injury, which means we've been playing pretty much anyone in right back. The right back area is so weak for us at the moment. I did try to sign in the summer, but it just seemed that I thought Kyle Nurse was a right back, but my scouts were very, very wrong. And there you go, Markovic put them level. So we are going to have to look massively into the summer for a right back and a little bit more squad depth. I know some people have said you need to get a better goalkeeper. It doesn't work like that. I had a look actually and did a little experiment and had my scouts just go and look at the best goalkeepers in the world. Vega, in terms of stars, is like top 5. And Belongo has better stats for me than Vega, so I'm ignoring the stars and that. So for me, Belongo is a quality goalkeeper. And the game just doesn't seem to have a good set for goalkeeping. And as you can see there, 53 minutes, we were 3-1 down at Anfield here, and I was in tatters. So all we did, I switched it to the 2-striker system. I maybe should have started with it, but then you can never really tell with these things, you know. So having 2 strikers on the pitch helped a great deal. Marcio there, ball into Norman Millington, who, despite us having some poor games this month, has still played well. I don't know what that was about, though. The way he ran away from the ball. He's done that a few times for us, if you recall. Lovely ball down here, though. After it, what a cross that is. I mean, Archubi had 2 or 3 goes at that there, but he managed to get it in the back of the net to make it 3-2 on 61 minutes. And then, just 3 minutes later, we completed the comeback. Ball through here, Millington, and eventually is put in at the back post by Marcio. Takes the touch, sets himself, goal. 3-3 at Anfield, and I did keep pushing, and we did have some more chances. So in the end, we probably should have won, but we didn't. And we're still unbeaten, though. Well, not unbeaten, but we kept that good little record of not losing many games intact, but conceded way too many goals from my liking in that game. Now, in our next match, we had ourselves a game against Nottingham Forest in the Premier League at home. They're a good side, but we had to win, and as you can see from the scoreline here, they had 5 shots in the entire game and didn't hit the target with any of them. It was a relatively comfortable one, and of course Millington and Santos were pretty much the key here. Santos' ball in, Millington with the big header. Apologies for that sound in the background. And 32nd goal of the season for King Norm. I wonder if he could become. And then a wonderful free kick from Santos. So Millington actually got an assist for that, because I assume he won the foul. We did defend a bit after that, because I just thought, well, let's just play this safe. We probably could have scored more goals, maybe should have. So I'm starting to get a little bit worried. Like today, of just me playing FM, I've noticed that in both my saves, just today, the teams have been creating a lot of good chances, but not putting enough away, and that's worrying me. It's strange. It's been happening in both saves today, in my recording sessions. Anyway, moving on to our next game, away at Sheffield United, and this one again was a toughie. They dug deep and actually took the lead, as you can see there, and I was very, very worried because, like, again, we deserved to win the game, and we actually did this time, but I got a bit worried because when they took the lead, you just feel, I mean, the fact is, look at the amount of defenders there are, and look at how, I mean, how are we not... I don't understand how 5 of them couldn't tackle one guy, and Belongo couldn't keep it out either. It was a good finish, but it wasn't even that powerful. But it's a shame, and it happens, and we needed to respond, and at least we did this time. It gave me a lot more confidence in the team, when it still took us till 40 minutes, but we did manage to get ourselves level. And thankfully just before half-time as well, because I wouldn't have wanted to go on at half-time a goal down here. You know, that's a lot of pressure on there. Millington drops it off here to Van Os, and it's cleared off. Sheffield United, I have to say, put in a strong performance, but I still think they're probably going to get relegated this year. But they've done a good job. You know, at times they're certainly not one of the worst. They're not the worst team in this league. Ball play through here, and of course Millington doing what he does to make it 1-1 there before half-time. His 33rd goal of the season. He is just he's a menace to defences. He seriously is. Then a Santos ball in to the edge of the area for Van Os. Van Os plays it forward. Brought down here, bit of a melee. Millington knocked off the ball, and it's cleared long. But of course, we've got players back and ready to collect that. You'll notice that Weaver was playing there for us today. We've been alternating between sort of Weaver and Nurse and players like that. Van Os's ball through here, blocked and cleared away by Sheffield United. Basically, everything they did just involved lumping it at this point. Millington does well, though, comes past and spreads it into the bottom corner for his 2nd goal of the night and his 34th goal of the season. And just, I think that gave him, like, still a goal a game. Then, to cap it off, Santos' ball and Millington with the hat-trick. You know, you can't ask for more than that. 35 goals this year already. He's only 8 behind his tally of last season, and we've still got quite a few games to go yet. I think he's going to do it, guys. I think 45 is possible for him. So there we go. That was another good win. And as you can see, we've been unbeaten in the league since we lost to Man United in December, which is pretty damn good, really. There's a few draws in there, which is a little bit disappointing. The Brighton one in particular. But still, you know, 5-win over Fulham, 2 more draws there. That one stage there where we only had 1 win in 5, I was a little bit worried, but we still went unbeaten, which is crucial. 2 wins then got us back on track. In our next game, we went to Brentford. And I had to play a relatively strong side because I wanted to make sure that we have our best chance of getting into the Cups this year and going as far as we can. At Brentford, it was a similar story. It was a simple case of us just being the better team, basically. We were ahead inside 2 minutes when Archubi gave us the lead. I don't know, he must be coming up to 10 goals. That's his 9th goal of the season. A lot of players, I think, are going to get double figures for us this year, seriously. Then on 3 minutes, what about this for a strike from Van Os? Inside his own half, bang. It's nice to finally score one of those. I've had one scored against me, but that's the first time I think on FM15 that I've actually seen one of my players score one, so that's great. And Van Os gets his 11th goal of the season, and that is making him like the Wizard of Os. But basically, if this episode wasn't going to be called League Cup Final, it would be called Wizard of Os. And as you can see, 30 minutes in, Borja Gomez with his 7th of the season makes it 3-0. But Brentford still had a little bit more about them. And as you look, we only created 1 clear-cut chance in this game. So against a weaker side, we were clearly a bit better at doing that. And I don't know what my keeper's doing there. He doesn't even dive for it. He just lets it roll right past him. I know it's because he's probably reacted from the first save, but he's still on his feet. So I have no idea what was going on there. So that, of course, made it 3-1. And in the second half, I was a little bit worried. So we did actually go and sit and go to our defensive one just to make sure that we wrapped up the win and put ourselves into the quarter-final of the FA Cup. Now, one thing I would say is that there was quite a lot of plum draws for the next round of the FA Cup, which we could have got in the quarterfinals. But unfortunately, come on, what's our luck been like in getting cup draws this season? Yeah, we've got Man United again in the quarterfinal of the FA Cup this time. So it's at home, so there's still a hope, but I'm not holding my breath on that one. The chances of us being able to pull off another win over Manchester United is pretty slim. Santos here ducks inside and smashes it in. So I think that quarterfinals might be the highest we can go in the FA Cup this year, which is a shame because I really did want to see how far we can go in as many competitions as we can. And that proves, actually, that's one point. It's March and we're still in every single competition that we've entered this year. Ball in there and it's well saved. So that is certainly saying something. Obviously, we've only played one leg of our tie against Red Bull Salzburg at the moment, so that's sort of Schrodinger's cat, if you like. We don't know if it's dead or alive yet, so I don't know. Now, I felt that it was a reasonable one for me to miss the game against Red Bull Salzburg, and you'll see the second leg, don't worry, in the next episode, because we've got so many important games around us at the moment. I figured a cup final would be more entertaining to watch, because there's something huge on the line, and it could be our chance for our first piece of silverware in this save, and it has to be. We've done so well this season in just about everything, in all the cups to get as far as we have, and for us to not win anything this year either would be just gutting. But, you know, we just, as you can see, also Pipoca, he finally managed to get himself fit and ready to make a start, and, well, he scored on his second appearance for us. Pipoca, not a start, it was a substitute appearance, but it's great to see him score his first goal. I think he'll be huge for us in a couple of seasons, potentially. And if we need double strikers, it's just useful to have another striker. So there you go, a 5-2 win away at Brentford. Now, what happened next was incredibly disappointing. Now, Saturday game against Brentford, and that meant, of course, that a Tuesday game against Red Bull Salzburg, we were going to be a little bit knackered, but this one just, when everything went wrong, just everything. We were very poor. Let's not make any mistakes about that. No excuses. We were terrible. And I don't know why, because they're not that good, and we just couldn't get anything going. I was so disappointed. You know, this should have been the plum tie of the round, and we've really fucked it up. I mean, they should have had more goals against us. And it was just made worse by the fact that, you know, Santos couldn't start because he wasn't fit enough, really, he having played against Brentford. And, yeah, it's just... We had to bring him on at half-time, and then he went off injured 15 minutes later, and I was kind of happy. I put it on defensive about 60 minutes, because I thought, well, actually, if we just lose 1-0, it gives us a better chance at home, at least, if we put in a strong performance. But, unfortunately, with 3 minutes left, they went and got themselves a second goal, and that could seriously put a dampener on our entire season. Like, I don't know what the defending was doing, and Belongo makes a save there, but it's one of these needlessly long highlights, but we were in trouble. We could potentially go out of the Champions League at the round of 16 stage, and I'd be very disappointed with that, because we are much, much better side than these guys, and we are going to need to throw everything at them in the home leg. So I'm tempted to go 2 strikers, because we need goals, and yeah, we can switch it up, and if we get ourselves into a good position, then we can try and change things and drop back a little, go defensive if we need to. And there's a great finish, I have to say, from Rogulic. But my point is, we should be doing far better in this game. And I don't just mean creating things, I mean just in general, we were very, very awful, and just disappointing, because if we go out, imagine if we went out the Champions League first with the easiest draw, but I suppose that's one of those things, isn't it? And that brings us to the next game, which there's one more game. Apologies, guys, there's quite a few games this month. Norwich City away. This was so important for us. This was one of those real grinder result out type of games, and I was very surprised because we weren't particularly good here. We were maybe a tiny bit better than Norwich, and probably did deserve it if you really want to shade it like that. But frankly, it took us so long to get anything going, and it was a relatively weak effort there from Dele Alli going to the back of the net, and Belongo unable to keep it out. And I was getting really worried, you know, a defeat here, and suddenly we're starting to slip back into 4th place and fall back. But then, 66 minutes, Santos' cross, Borja Gomez with the header, making, at least giving us a lifeline, and hoping to keep the little unbeaten run we're on going. But thankfully, we actually had a little bit more than that in us. I think Norwich got a little bit complacent themselves, because they just allow a little too much space. You notice I brought Pipoca on instead of Marcio. Marcio's pissed at me for some reason, so I brought Pipoca on instead to see if we could get a bit of wonderness out of him. Even though Marcio, of course, has been a hero off the bench for me in recent games. Nurse actually played a great game against Norwich. I thought he was decent, but as you can see here, after that through, sets himself up, and a great finish from Ola after that, and made it 2-1 to us, and that's his 7th goal of the season as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he and Borja Gomez also nicked 10 goals each this year. So a 2-1 win in the league there, and that made it three results in the row, I think. 3 wins in a row in the league, certainly boosting us back up. Now, that leaves the league looking like this. Amazingly, despite having 63 points from 27 matches, we are 4th. 14 points clear of Arsenal, albeit, plus a game in hand would take us back to the level in 2nd place, but my god, it is insane. Manchester United have 75 points already. No chance, no one's going to get anywhere near them. It's ridiculous the amount of goals they've scored and points they've got. They've lost 1 out of 28, 124, no chance for us. But at least we can get back into that battle. I really do want to see if we can snatch 2nd place, just for bragging rights, if nothing else. And that will have counted as an objective achieved as well for title challenge, I suppose. And as you can see, of course, Norman Millington there, still top scorer with 24 goals in the league. Robson's right in there too, though, so you've got to feel that he'll end up pinching it off Millington in the end, because he always does, doesn't he? So, also, youth intake. Not really much to say about it, because it was pretty awful. Yeah. Best player from it is Roger Orford, apparently, and, I mean, I'm not all that far. I mean, I'm going to sign the ones that my assistant thinks are good, but we've not had a lot this year, which is a shame, really, because, I don't know, I feel like we should be doing better than that, but there you go. Anyone wanted to see how our under-18s are doing currently, why would you not? All groups, yeah. Our under-18s are currently not there. Why are they not there? Group A, Group B, Group C. Oh, the bottom of... Okay, I don't really know how that works, so there you go, there's our under-18s bottom there, which is a pain, actually. And our under-21s, and we are... Oh, there we go, we came 2nd in our area, which isn't too bad, actually, so there you go on that one. Now, let's take a little look at the squad. Top goal scorer, Norman Millington, has 35 goals in 41 starts. Not bloody bad. I think he can beat his record, but who knows. Van Osh, Marcio, Santos, all in there, of course. Archubi with 9. A lot of players have scored lots of goals, and that's great. Assists-wise, Santos now has 18. He's a mentalist. I don't know how he does it. And 18 assists already in 24 matches. 10 goals as well. Van Osh and Archubi have 16 each. That's what I like to see, though. The fact that they've actually got a decent amount of assists too is very, very pleasant to see. Most man of the match is Millington with 9. Santos is right in there as well, though, with 5 still. Yellow cards, Evangelos has 13 now and 2 reds, which is disappointing. Average rating overall, Santos, of course, tops that with a 7.97. I wonder if he can get back in there again. Key aerial challenges, Pedro Miguel Lopez Sousa with 122. Key passes is Van Osh. Santos has moved into 2nd now, but I don't know. I wonder if he can catch Van Osh. He's starting to get better and better. Key tackles, 42 for Lopez Sousa. Interceptions, 463. And, of course, value is Santos at 30 million now. Robert Gray is going to be back in like 3 weeks or 2 weeks, I think. So it's going to be more like 3 or 4 to actually get him back to full fitness and ready to play. So he's missed most of this season. We've had to do a lot of this without him, which is disappointing. In the summer, we're going to go hard on getting ourselves a world-class right back, if I can. Possibly someone else to go in the centre, although I'm not entirely sure where we need to strengthen, really, at the moment. Maybe another centre-back, just to give us a little bit more options with regard to people getting injured, basically, because it's clearly going to happen lots. Right. So that brings us to today's game, basically, and big time stuff now. Wow. Oh, thank God. Stoke are playing the system we like to play against, which means we can just go with our... I've not actually faced this system all month. We've really had to mess around with tactics quite a bit. So we are going to go with our usual tactic. And Kevin Keane will come in at right back today. We've kind of been... I've kind of been using Nurse, Keane and Weaver this month. My assistant kept putting Weaver in, but I did keep putting Nurse in if I could, because he's just a better player for me. Nurse is on the bench... Actually, I'm tempted to bring Nurse on off the bench and put him in place of Kumalo, just because Nurse can play at any one of the back four positions. So he's used, and he can play. I mean, he can basically play on any of the defensive roles. That's why he's such a good player, and I love the guy. Luigi Lucarelli's not fit yet in terms of match fitness. He's going to be a while yet, I'd have thought. 59 still. Wow, that's really hampered his development. That's such a shame. It was such a massive injury he received, though. So. Millington, Santos, Vanosh, Archubi, Gomez, Ivancic, Barnes, Verstraeten, Lopez Sousa, Keane, Belongo. The only areas that are weak is, you know, obviously I'd rather have Marcelo and Gray at the back, but they're good enough players. I mean, Keane maybe not, but... Stoke have played a game on the Wednesday. We played on the Monday, so we've got an extra 2 games on them, an extra 2 days of rest, which should be helpful. I just feel like we are destined to have stupid screw-ups in cup final. None. We've 0 for 2 so far. Against Leicester we had that horrible red card, and against Chelsea it was just a relatively even game that we came out on the wrong side of. So against Stoke today, we're the better side. They're playing a tactic that we like to play against, and therefore I expect nothing but a win. I expect us to win this, basically. And Millington looks like he's going to be top scorer as well. Let's see. If we don't win this, I'll be gutted. I'm actually really quite nervous about this one, just because like cup finals, it's like, come on. I just think our attacking threat might just be too much for them. You know, all 4 of our front 4 are in great form at the moment, and have been just generally amazing this season. I'm glad Archubi's settled in nicely. You know, 16 assists in his first season. I think both he and Vanosh will end up with more than 20 each as well. With Santos probably more like 25, probably. We'll have to see though. You know, he's done awesome things for us in the past. You never know, he could get closer to 35. Gomez into Vanosh. Can he drop it into Santos? Of course he can. Santos is a bit poor there, actually. Zahirovic, long ball downfield, should easily be cut out, but it hasn't been. Will Hughes now. Bazoa. We're not looking too confident here. Janssen, so many players around him. Just somebody put a tackle in. Anyone at all. He's going to spread it out wide. You know he's going to spread it out wide. Franzen, don't just let this be a... Oh, what a save from Belongo. Okay, good chance for Stoke early on there, and we'd managed to get away with that one. Great save from Belongo, rescuing and sparing our blushes, and again, oh, Stoke have started really well here. That's worrying, because this is the tactic that's supposed to work against that one. Or is it just cup finals? We just... Oh, what about that? And again, Stoke have started incredibly strongly here, and I'm a very, very worried man right now, because... I don't know. I'm not entirely sure where to go from here. A great tackle from Ivancic. Maybe it's just a blip in the start of the game. Oh, it's not. It's definitely not a blip in the start of the game. Oh, no. Missed the header, and it is 1-0 to Stoke City. I don't believe it. Every time we play this tactic, we generally... every time we play against the team that plays that tactic with the one we play, we almost always win. We've been so poor to start with, but it's only 6 minutes on the clock. What can you do? Ball in Millington. Oh... Good chance. Right, Portsmouth's first chance of the game. Let's. Well, we're going to go on attacking, of course, because we're going to have to try and pick up the pace a little bit here. But I'm hoping that this was just an early blip in the game and we just struggled to get started, because I'll be gutted if that's the case. Gomez, please don't just be a long-range effort from nowhere. What is that crap? Oh, wow. Oh, we've beaten Stoke already this season quite comfortably, using this exact tactic, if I remember. Oh, what? How did he win the ball there? There was 3 players on him. I sense this could be another one of those games, guys, unfortunately. Well, that's a terrible corner. It's already starting to look like one of those games. What can we do? Cleared away. Right, win your header. There we go, Archubi. Now bring that ball downfield. Let's try and get something going here. Vanosh around the corner. Yeah, we need to mark out Janssen. That's for sure. Millington, that's a poor touch, but he has been held up well. Vanosh, don't shoot from long range. Please don't shoot from long range! Oh, I've got them set to not do it. They still do it. We've come back into it a little bit, but that is not a good start to this game. I'm trying to think what we can do. I mean, I don't even... Whipped crosses? I don't really know what that's even going to make any difference, really, to us. I just... I'm so confused at the moment. We need to push forward, that's for sure, because, oh my god, every other time I've played this tactic against a team that plays that style, we've won. Well, not won, but at least looked great. We just don't seem to be able to string anything together lately in the league, right? We're looking a little bit better, but we're a goal down at half-time. And you know I'm not just saying that, because I use that every time. Oh, what? Hang on, Santos is injured. Oh, for God's sake. You know, I've used it plenty of times in live comms against teams that play this tactic, and we've won comfortably. And against Stoke, I'm pretty certain. How bad? Oh, I don't want to have to take him off, but I don't know what other choice we've got. He's injured, and I can't afford to have him missing for... You know, if he got injured in the second half and we lost anyway, it could be even worse for us, really. The question is, I don't think it's bad enough for us to revert to our other tactic just yet. That's sort of like a 65th minute if things aren't going our way type of change. Really trying to shake things up at that point. But we need something. Anything. We've looked so good lately, and, you know, 3 league wins in a row were... Apart from that blip against Red Bull Salzburg, we've looked so good. And, you know, this is the team that beat Manchester United in the semi-final. And yet we're struggling now against Stoke City because it's the final, it would seem. We just don't have the bottle for it. Oh, what a stupid pass. And by stupid, I mean brilliant. And I mean the defending was just awful. Right, we're going to have to come up with something here, guys, because it is not happening for us yet. If we aren't level by 65... Oh, what a ball. Hit and hope. Millington, in he comes, and it's well saved. Oh, good chance, goes to waste. Millington can't put it away, but then I never expected him to because... Oh, Baz Jansen's injured for Stoke. Now, the reason I never expected him to was because the angle. They never score from that angle. Right, what I'm trying to think. I want to save substitutions just in case, because we're looking slightly better here, and I don't want to blow it all on one sub. I might just hang on a little. Right, after this highlight... we're going to switch to our 2-striker tactic because we don't really have much choice in the matter. Hopefully this will just be a long-range effort or something that flies wide. Oh, he's going to slide it through and score. He's going to score. Oh, what a save. Right, okay. That should be the end of that. I can't believe we're losing this one, guys. Right. And Marcio has to be the one. I'm sorry, Pipoka, but it's got to be attacking for the next 10 minutes. And then overload for the last 10. Don't want to get caught out. I'm just gutted. Is all I can really say about this game. No, fuck it, we're going to do it now. Oh, I can't believe we're looking like we're going to lose another bloody cup final. I don't believe it. What is it with me in cup finals? I expect you've got lots of reasons why we've lost the game, and etc, etc. But, you know, hindsight... If hindsight was my assistant manager, I'd be a much better manager. That's some wonderful tackling there, I must say. Great stuff. Well worked, guys. Oh, I don't believe this. We're going to lose. We're going to lose again. You just can't win cup finals, can we? It's not happening. I think we could probably get to the cup final of every single cup we're in this year and probably not win any of them at this rate. It's so weird, and that looks like it's going to be the lot. Unless they, don't know, do their job and get the ball forward. Marcio. Oh, over the bar, and that's it. Portsmouth 0, Stoke City 1. We have lost the cup final, guys. Again. Oh, so fucking pissed off at them. We have just been so poor again. What is it with us in cup finals? Anyway, we have to move on from that because what other choice do we have? God, that's so irritating. Right, so in the next episode, we've got to come back and we're going to do the game against Red Bull Salzburg, obviously. But in between there, I've actually got yet another ridiculous game. We've got Manchester United in the FA Cup quarter-final too. So the games don't stop just yet. I can't believe we've lost the fucking cup final again. So, yeah. And I expect, you know, you've got plenty of suggestions on ways we could have won the cup final, but like you said, you know, it's all very well saying that afterwards, but when you've got the decision to make at the time, you have to make the choices. I've made that tactical choice to play the tactic we did because we were playing Stoke and because our tactic works against that one. And Stoke, we comfortably beat Stoke in the league earlier this season, and I can't remember the last time we even lost to Stoke, but it just isn't going to happen, is it? Right, anyway. In the next episode, yeah, it's going to be a short one in the next one, just because we've only got... But I want to make sure that we cover that game, because it is hugely important now. I wouldn't have maybe done it if we weren't on the verge of going out on that one as well. I just think that we're still lacking a little bit of squad depth to be covering all these competitions at the moment, because we have had to play weekend sides. I mean, I just haven't had a chance to play weekend sides. We've had games so often. Anyway, guys, if you like what you're seeing, please drop a like on the video. I'm sorry we've lost the cup final. We'll have to try again next year. If you liked it even more than that, please subscribe to my channel for more Portsmouth and Red Star Belgrade in your inbox every single day at 5:30 and 8 o'clock. And I will see you guys in the next episode for the Red Bull Salzburg game, and that could be crucial now. So I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.